In reading through comments for requests for videos, one of the most popular questions I get is how to take a frame from this stage and fill it out to something like this. For a tutorial on a full start-to-finish project for a piece like this, check out the links below for either my website or for Patreon. I may not be able to upload a full start-to-finish project to this channel, but I can at least get us started. This was the frame that we put together earlier this week for our complex frame video. I'll put the link to it in the description below. When establishing the overall flow for a pendant like this, I often find it easiest to start with the bail. We're going to do so today, starting with 8 inches of 14 gauge half round. At one end of our half round, we're going to go ahead and create a small hook that we can secure to the top of our frame. With our first ending secured, we're going to go ahead and bring this wire over the top of our frame to begin creating the bail for our piece. With one side of our bail secure, we're going to go ahead and pass our 14 gauge through the frame so it'll be secured on both ends. For our next step, we're going to take this wire from our side quadrant of the frame here, all the way across the bottom of the piece to the bottom left. With our wire secured here, we're going to bring this around the outside edge and secure through the center section of our frame here. And finally, to secure this ending, we're going to pass it underneath our bail into the top right section of our frame here. If we place the stone back on the frame and look at it from here, we have a pattern that we can continue to follow through with more elements. If we start at the top at the back of the frame, it comes over the right side edge, back through and around, back through and around, and then back through and around once more. Each time the wire passes through the frame, it's going from the inside out to the outside edge of the frame. This makes a really easy pattern for us to then fill in the gaps between where those half rounds pass through. We're going to go ahead and add one more wire to this project for today. For our next wire, I have once again cut 8 inches of 14 gauge half round. we're going to start this wire the same way, creating a small hook that we can easily secure to the top of our frame. From here, we're essentially going to follow along the exact line that we've established with our first 14 gauge, just varying the pattern slightly as we go. I brought it over the top. We're going to go ahead and bring it around the edge of our frame here. Tightening so it sits just below our strapping on the back here. I've tightened this wire enough so that my bail will be even, but I do have some space where I can continue to add elements between these two wires. To continue our pattern, we're going to pass this through the middle section of our frame. From here, we're going to pass it around the outside edge and into the bottom right section of our frame. To give this some extra stability, we'll pass it underneath our first 14 gauge so that we can pinch it and secure it to the frame. Next, I'm going to bring this wire around the outside edge again and back through just above where our strapping starts here. To finish securing this wire through, we're going to pass it underneath both bail sections once again, so we can secure it to the top right of our frame. And here we have it. The first moves away from our frame, starting to fill out our piece. I used 14 gauge half round, but theoretically you could use almost any wire to begin establishing the same flow or direction for the piece. Using a thick gauged wire that isn't coiled in any way to help protect the bail will add some longevity to your pieces. I've left enough space between my two 14 gauge bail guards that I could add an element coming over the top with stone set into it or a coil. Here are two examples of pieces I started in the same way, with 14 gauge half round, coming over the top of the bail first, with just enough space in between to include an element from there. I hope this video helps inspire you to try some new things. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you're interested in seeing the whole process from start to finish, I do have tutorials available on my website or always on Patreon. The links for both of those are in the description below. A special thank you goes out to all the names on the screen for supporting this channel through Patreon. What I am doing would not be possible without your support. If you're interested in helping support the channel, follow the link in the description below this video. If you found this video helpful, leave me a like on the video. This helps me a lot with the visibility of my videos and YouTube's algorithms. To be the first to know when I upload new content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when new videos are available. Thank you for watching, and happy wrapping.